अगला सेशन हमारा इंग्लिश ज़बान में होगा और जिसके जो मॉडरेशन करेंगी डॉक्टर शहला रियाज, जो कि असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर है रिफा इंटरनेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी की, और उनके साथ मैम कुद्सिया फिरदौस हैं जो कि लेक्चरर हैं डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इस्लामिक स्टडीज़ रिफा इंटरनेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी में। तो मैं बिला किसी ताख़ीर के उनसे गुजारिश करूँगा कि वो अपने सेशन का आगाज़ करें।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I, Dr. Shahla Riaz, Assistant Professor Islamic Studies, welcome you all in our this English language session of Second International Conference of Islamic Studies 2020 on the topic that Islamic perspective on leadership, a framework for practice in the contemporary world. This session is chaired by Dr. Usama Hassan, Director Al Quran Society, London, UK. And the chief guest of this session are Professor Dr. Muhammad Ruslan bin Muhammad Noor, Professor Department of Islamic History and Civilization, Academy of Islamic Studies, University of Malaya, Malaysia, and keynote speaker of this session is Dr. Muhammad Anwar Sohaib, Associate Professor, Islamic Studies, International Open University, Chairman at Taqwa Trust, Auckland, New Zealand, and the guest speaker are Dr. Mumtaz Ali. So without any delay, I would like to invite our chief guest, Professor Dr. Muhammad Ruslan, University of Malaya, Malaysia, to speak. Please, over to you, Professor Dr. Muhammad Ruslan.
Thank you, Mrs. Chairperson. May I share my slide for today? Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this realistic conference, the Second International Conference of Islamic Studies 2021, which is organized by Riphah International University, Pakistan. I feel honored to be invited and to join this session this afternoon time in Malaysia and still morning time in Pakistan. MashaAllah. Really a great for me to be with every one of you. And especially I would like to thank to Dr. Tahir, who especially continuously informing me and also reminding me to for this session. I really like the topic that is the focus of this conference, which is on Islamic perspective on leadership, a framework for practice in the contemporary world, which I think this session will talk about the leadership issues and the leadership quality, the leadership experiences which we are really in need in our modern time. So in this, within 15 minutes time given to me, I will probably focus on the leadership with religious tolerance, which I think something we need also to pay attention and also to look into the situation. We know that the problem of leadership among the, we call it among the Muslim countries or Islamic countries. We have 56 Islamic countries all over the world, plus one, which will be 57. And why I mentioned 56 plus one, because the only country which is not recognized by United Nations, but we recognize it as the Islamic countries, which is the Palestine. So we are still waiting, and inshallah one day we hope that Palestine will be included and will be recognized by United Nations as independent state and also sovereign state, which later on we can include them as the 57 countries within the Islamic countries that join the OIC, Organization of Islamic Conference. Among the OIC countries, we probably do not see any leaders which are truly championing Islam, and also we could regard as the leader of the world. So within our OIC members countries, we still look at it in terms of the leadership skills, and we cannot say exactly which country that lead the Muslim countries at the moment. If we would like to choose one country, probably some other country they don't agree with our choice, and if we choose other country to be our leader, they don't agree with that choice as well. So this is something that we need to look into as well. The leadership of Islamic states or Islamic countries in the world at the moment. Although we know that some of the Islamic countries in the world, they are having blocks. They have blocks of countries which focusing, or which we can say that they are coming from, or they support one particular country or two or another country to be their leaders. But in this program or in this conference, I would like maybe to focus more on the leadership with religious tolerance. This is something that I think it is still lacking within the Islamic countries, especially the country which we can see that we live within the multicultural society. In Pakistan, maybe it is not that it's not that far percentage of the non-Muslim that live in the country compared to Malaysia. Malaysia, we have around 56% of non-Muslim who live in our country, and some other countries as well, such as Indonesia. If we look into the percentage of Indonesia, we may say that Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world, but they also have a large number of non-Muslim who live in Indonesia. And the number of non-Muslim who live in Indonesia, if we want to compare to the number of total population of Malaysia, I think it is quite similar, the number of total population of Malaysia. In Malaysia, we have 32 million people, and in Indonesia, I think for the non-Muslim as well, they have nearly 30 million non-Muslims population. So this is a big number of non-Muslims who live within the Islamic countries. So I to elaborate on these issues, and I would like to see that we have more skills and more style of leadership within this multicultural society. We know that in some countries they have a different religious adherence, and they have people coming from a different background. So this is something I think crucial for the leaders to look into it and to follow the examples. And today I choose the example of Umar Al-Khattab when he introduced what we call it as Umar Assurance of Safety to the people of Ilya, which in At-Tabari, one of the Muslim historians, it mentioned the full text, how to say, the longest text that we can find in Islamic history book. It is in At-Tabari, Al-Uhda Al-Umariyah, which is the assurance given to the people of Ilya. The people of Ilya, well, basically, this is the people who live in Baitul Maqdis during the first liberation of Baitul Maqdis in the name of Islam, I mean under the Islamic rule. The liberation of Baitul Maqdis did not happen during the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. we know that in Islamic history, although we have how Prophet Muhammad SAW showed to us how he deal with non-Muslims in Medina, but also we know that the Sahaba also take the example of Prophet Muhammad SAW, and then they do, or they practice the same kind of religious tolerance during their time. So when Umar al-Khattab liberate Bait al-Maqdis, when he received the keys from Patriarch Sopronius in the year of 637 CE, he gave this assurance to the people of Ilya. So I just would like to read the introduction of the text when he mentioned that Hadza ma'ata Abdullah Umar Amirul Mu'minin Ahla Ilya minal aman. A'tahum amanan li anfusihim wa amwalihim wa likana'isihim wa sulbanihim. Okay, I stop at that because I want to stress on the point that he mentioned. He said that this is an assurance of safety given by the servant of Allah, which is the second caliph, which is Umar al-Khattab, the Amirul Mu'minin, to the people of Ilya. The Ilya here is the Bait al-Maqdis, because the name of Bait al-Maqdis before Islam, it was known as Ilya, taking the names from the Roman Byzantine time. Okay, and then he confers an assurance of safety for their lives and properties, and also the churches and crosses. Walikana isihim wasulbanihim. So meaning that the house of worship for the non-Muslim was given the assurance of safety during the time of Umar al-Khattab. And it's not only the house of worship, but it is also the sign of the house of worship. Sulbanihim, the crosses, Sulbanihim. So this is something which, if we were to look and if we were to scrutinize the leadership style of Umar al-Khattab, we know that Umar is very, very strong man and is very, have a strong leadership style. During the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know that the Sahaba recognized that Umar, we cannot play around with him, because he's really have the courage, and he really a kind of a leader which frightened the opposition. So this is something which, when we were to look into this, we look how Umar al-Khattab practice the leadership style within the multicultural society. When he give the assurance of safety, he give a safety to the other religious adherents. Of course, this is with a condition. Of course, this comes with the condition, which the condition is, if you look into this one, وَعَلَى أَهْلِ إِلْيَا أَيَّعْتُوا الْجِزْيَةِ. So meaning that the people of Ilya must pay the jizya. Also, the condition has been given by Umar al-Khattab. If they agree with this condition, then they can live in peaceful living, and they can live peacefully in the area of Bait al-Maqdis. Yes, during that time, we know that some of the people, they chose to not to live under the Islamic rule in Ilya, and they chose to leave Ilya. So this is something that has been given a choice by Umar al-Khattab. And for those who not they don't want to live in Ilya, they granted their safety. They were granted their safety to the safety points. Wherever they want to go, they will be escorted until they arrive at the safety points. So after they arrive at the safety points, then the Muslim will leave them wherever they want to go. So for those who wanted to live in Ilya or in Bait al-Maqdis during that time, they are welcome. They were welcome, and then they also been given the assurance of safety. So in conclusion, I would like to say that in Islam, we also stress on the peaceful living within the religious communities, and the religious tolerance is very much been given the importance and been put at the high level in our Islamic history. So the leaders in Islam should consider, when they live in the multicultural society, they should consider also the responsibility and also the rights of the non-Muslim who live in Islamic countries. So I think by saying that, I will end my short speech for this afternoon. So I hope everyone will enjoy the rest of the conference, and the conference will be a beneficial one for everyone. So thank you very much again to the organizers, especially the university, the Riphah International University, and the organizers, and also all the committee members who tirelessly make sure that this conference runs smoothly. So thank you very much. I hand it over again to Mrs. Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we are honored to have you in our second International Conference of Islamic Studies 2021. I, on behalf of Dr. Muhammad Tahir and Department of Islamic Studies, I am thankful to you for your time and for your valuable words. Jazakumullah khair.